I'm not gonna say it. It was so gutter.
I've done some absolutely deplorable shit in high school.
I've hit below the
Deplorable.
waist before.
Mm-mm.
Shit,
Yes.
below the waist, I tripped him off. Like, yeah, I did some deplorable shit in high school.
And
Mhm.
a lot of times we don't really understand how the person, like Precious was saying just now, we don't really understand how the person receiving is going to take it, right? And you trying to project a certain type of pain, right? And
Yeah.
especially if you're emotional, sometimes you're not. You just are going maximum. You're going to say the most vile things possible because you want to make that
You
person
want to hurt the
feel
person
at
back.
least you know what I mean? You want to hurt that person too. And when you're trying to inflict that type of venom into somebody, it's like you don't understand what that's going to do to somebody. Certain things that you
Yeah.
say to men, they never really forget and they can't unlive because, and you can't just get back. Men don't really ride the same roller coaster emotionally that women do. So when you say something fly to me and it was something crazy, like especially if it's something that a man is insecure about, he's never ever going to forget that.
There's a lot of people out here suffering from PTSD from their previous relationships. A lot of people.
Mhm.
And there's a lot
Remember
of
in the
Well,
beginning, we
well,
talked about
Swinny,
therapy. This is one of those cases. This is one of those cases where you probably want to seek some therapy. If it's to the point, that's why I asked the question, even though it might have sounded facetious at the time. I asked the question: do you feel like the amount of melanin is directly correlating with the personality types?
Yeah.
And no, it's just his visual experience right now that affects him psychologically now. So this is one of those situations where you have to get therapy because that's just trauma, and hopefully it's
Yeah.
something that he could work on and improve in. But to us, it won't make any sense at all because we haven't experienced that. Just like some people be scared of elevators, or some people scared of heights and
Rainbow.
different things. It's a fear now. It's created some sort of xenophobia at this point, right? Because he can't see himself dealing with anybody. It's traumatized. He mentioned the word trauma, so yeah, let's go ahead and get therapy if you are having those type of issues,
Or he can
and he
come to
knows
a,
he's having those type
or
of
he can
issues.
come to a men's coach. I can help him.
no, he
No,
needs to come to
I
me.
know.
I love Tish.
You
He
gonna send
just
him over the
said,
edge. You're gonna send him over the edge. I've
They
been
ain't never
listening to you
coming
all
back.
night. Uh-uh.
"Yo,
hey, Tish, be honest. You made fun of his type in high school, didn't
No,
you?
no, I'm not like that. I'm not a vicious
I hung
person.
out with
No,
his type in high
no,
school. I was a
no.
nerd and still am a nerd. Nerds rule the world. Hashtag nerd."
Right. There you
Yeah,
go.
So
you
y'all
talk
never
about
made
Marvel
colorist
movies. We
jokes back in the
believe
day?
you.
Y'all never did that?
Huh?
Y'all never y'all never did that back in the day? You never called somebody purple or we can't see you in the dark? Y'all don't do that. Y'all never
No,
did that?
I hung out
You
with
never
the
made a
bullied
colorist?
kids. I was
So
the
wait,
bullied
so
with
wait.
the bullied kids, so I
So
never did that.
People
you
don't
never
admit
made it
it, man. They
you
don't
never
admit it.
made a comment like that. Oh man. Well,
I'm
men
not
don't really
saying
say
I
that because
didn't
we
see
roast each
it.
other
I'm not
regularly.
saying I didn't see it or I didn't experience it. Like
You said you
personally,
didn't
I did
say it.
not. But it's not to say I didn't see other people experience it. But those were the people I used to hang out with, so that's why I could see it be experienced. I'm
Tish, you
like,
ride with that too?
huh?
No,
That you never said it? Never in your life?
I mean, I probably
Yo,
said.
you were just mean,
I
Smooth.
said,
Like
I
you,
say
you
some
were just
stuff.
a
I mean,
mean
what?
human.
Oh, but I know
Oh
she.
no,
I know she
no,
lying.
I'm just
She
I'm gonna
most
say I ain't got
definitely.
no cap in me. I call people everything. Anything that you could think about, I've
Right.
called them that. I've called their mothers that. I've called their children that.
I mean,
I've
but
called
I don't have
everything
Said
that. Yes.
children,
I don't
Smooth.
have a colors mindset or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't
that.
either.
But I mean, but of
Mm,
course, I say some left to the left stuff. Of course, like anyone
I mean,
else.
it was all fun and games, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
yeah, because you don't realize you as the person making those jokes don't realize how much the person receiving those jokes receive
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
You
That's
Yeah.
know,
very true.
And then what they're going
you,
through at home. I mean, clearly he's already
Mhm.
going through stuff at home, possibly. Then you go and get ridiculed at school or whatnot. It's a lot. It's a lot for one person.
Oftentimes, the ones that are bullied have things going on at home. When I was younger, I was bullied crap. None of my bullies knew what I went through at home, but now all of them are trying to bag me as an adult. Make it make sense.
How it
Make it make
goes.
sense.
and well, that's the point. Some people, and I hate to say you grow into your complexion, but
Yeah.
some men do. Like some men end up being fine as hell, being a dark skinned man, but was insecure when they were little because they got picked on for it. But
Yeah.
it
And they
became
still
a
be scarred
preference
about it.
for women.
African booty
Yeah.
scratchers
So
and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, like my brother, he's darker. I have darker cousins, and we would joke, but even in this moment, I don't realize how much they probably heard that just outside of the family joking.
Oh,
You
we
know,
had
Yeah,
so
we had
yeah.
I
some
know
dark
they
skin
grew
jokes
into
for your
their
ass.
complexion through
Yeah. Oh yeah.
sports and
Definitely.
careers and things like that. But yeah, I never really thought of that.
Yeah, we
Well,
had
let me
some.
ask you this: Did you ever? If we took color out of it, right? Did you ever just say something? It could have even been your significant other. Have you ever done something so bad that you feel like you may have traumatized a man? Have you said some things, some disgusting things, some egregious things, just where you really dug in because you feel like you were hurt and wanted to hurt them? Do you feel like you ever have went over the edge and done
I've
that?
never done that.
Who's gonna
No.
admit it? Who's gonna admit it?
That's
I
not.
have.
I just.
I've
I
never
ain't gonna lie. I did
This is
something.
kind of tough.
I done
I
something.
have.
I'm gonna
Gutter.
admit it.
I
I've
got
done
I
it.
got gutter. The word
I
is
need to hear
gutter.
it. I need to hear it. What
She
is it? What
said
is it?
gutter.
What is it? What did you say?
I'm not gonna say it. It was so gutter.
I've done some absolutely deplorable shit in high school.
I've hit below the
Horrible.
waist before.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Below the waist, I tripped him off. Like, yeah, I did some deplorable shit in high school.
And
Mhm.
a lot of times we don't really understand how the person, like Precious was saying just now, we don't really understand how the person receiving is going to take it, right? And you trying to project a certain type of pain, right? And
Yeah.
especially if you're emotional, sometimes you're not. You just are going maximum. You're going to say the most vile things possible because you want to make that
You
person
want to hurt the
feel
person
at
back.
least you know what I mean? You want to hurt that person too. And when you're trying to inflict that type of venom into somebody, it's like you don't understand what that's going to do to somebody. Certain things that you
Yeah.
say to men, they never really forget and they can't unlive because, and you can't just get back. Men don't really ride the same roller coaster emotionally that women do. So when you say something fly to me and it was something crazy, like especially if it's something that a man is insecure about, he's never, ever going to forget that. Never. This is an example of that. When you say something to a man and you really, really dig in to his ego, because to keep it real, a man's ego is not as strong as we'd like it to be. That's just facts. And when you go ahead and you deliberately dig into a man's ego, when you deliberately try to belittle him, he may never forget it and can probably never unlive it. And then you will wonder why a man sometimes will be distant or withhold things from you or don't talk to you a certain way because you dig in so much that he can't trust you emotionally.
And you know what's
Lady,
crazy? You know what's crazy, Trev? That actually goes the other way too when it comes to men. When you feed a man ego, he don't forget it. I know
Yeah.
there's plenty of dudes out here that a woman just complimented on, like, oh man, I really like your
Oh, yeah.
teeth. And dudes start
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes into a teeth brushing expert after that. Or you
Yeah.
say, oh man, I really
Yeah.
like your ways. And next thing you know, he in front of the mirror. Like, I know dudes who talk about that one compliment that a girl gave him in high school, and he still does that very same thing
Yeah.
to this day. A girl
Absolutely.
tells him, man, you smell good. What kind of cologne you got on? And he will wear that for the rest of his life.
Forever.
This is a
I
reason
know
why I
cats
say
still wearing Gravity.
this is why I tell men I don't know what needs to happen, but we gotta bring back that type of woman, man, because you remember when women used to be man pleasers? Like,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? That doesn't exist anymore. Everybody's selfish and women
Yeah.
want you to please them.
Well, everyone is selfish, not just women. It's
Yeah,
men.
well, no,
Yeah,
I think
women don't want to show men that they like them. It's
exactly.
the weirdest
So
thing.
Yeah.
I
It's
think it actually
weird.
works better in reverse, because when you take care of a man in that way, it's almost as if his benevolence kicks in and he's like, oh, if I'm good, everybody good. But it seems like when you feed into the woman, the family suffers, the family's broken. You know, they take their
Yeah.
selfishness to a new level and destroy the family and think they can go find better options. But back to what Trev was saying about women talking like down to men and hearing the worst stuff they ever, or saying the worst stuff the man has ever heard. I always am baffled when women say, why doesn't he talk to me? Like, whenever I hear that, I just look. It doesn't matter if it's a new couple, people I just met. He doesn't talk because you once used that shit against whatever he said. You used it against him. You brought it up and you like literally stabbed him. And I think it is innate in all men. Once a woman does that, I'll say 3 times, you You like there's a part of you that cuts off communication. You don't want to engage. You might even continue the relationship, but you're never doing that again with her. Well, he doesn't talk. He doesn't open up. He doesn't do it. Nah, you use it every time he does it. You use it against him. So I think that's something else that needs to cease because it does hurt. It does hurt.
Stop weaponizing
I
your
look
words.
at it this way: when I was working at a car dealership, right? When I was working at a car dealership back in Maryland, and if a man comes to buy a car and you talk real good to him, you quicken up his ego. You make him to sit in that car, make him feel like he owns that car. That man will buy that car no matter how expensive it is. He might negotiate the price, but it's going to be a sell. Because one thing about a man is this. Talk to a man about his dress. Talk to a man about his car. Talk to a man about his perfume. Those are things that get a man going. His watch.
It's called
Men
striking a
have
man's
ego.
ego.
Strike a man's ego.
Working
Like that's
with-
one thing that most women don't do today. You got to
Listen.
strike a man's ego.
You get more bees with honey
Listen,
than you do
y'all
with
want to get
vinegar.
into it for real? Y'all want to get into it for real? Because we can go there, man. We don't condone cheating in any way, especially for married people. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to leave the door wide open for another woman to take your man, that is how you do it. Because I don't think a man who is not getting served that way by his woman and y'all know yourselves. Stop being wicked. Women, you know yourselves. Y'all have a intuition, a third sense to sniff out when a man isn't being served right by his woman. It's that work wife, quote unquote, and she's just gonna sneak in there. What's wrong with you? What you eating again today? You know I cook, boy. Just let me know. I'll bring some. They will sneak in there and do everything your woman is not doing. And when your woman is slipping on her job, it sounds that much better. It's almost as if you were waiting for it and she's just caressing your soul. I'm not condoning cheating. I'm just saying don't make it easy for another woman to take your man that way.